All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to prevent your mouse clicks from going through a UI element. So I have a game here. When I click on things, things blow up. Boom, 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 boom. And that's cool and all. But now what happens if I put a button over here, right? I got this button. I don't want that to happen. I wanted the button to do button things, and it didn't. It did an explosion. What happens if I have a friend here or a building that I want to keep? I press on it, whoops, I blow up my building. That's no good. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to start from an example world. That way we have some code in place, but this is going to be pretty easy. You could do a fresh world if you want. Let me just turn this off. Let's go to this URL, I'll put the link in the description, hit these three dots, hit edit, and you are going to get a world exactly like this, but with no button. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. Boom. That's the world you're going to get, right? It even says so. Stop. I just didn't save it. I just put the button there for the example. So let's go ahead and put the button there. If you have this world or your fresh world, you're going to get a starter GUI, a screen GUI, and then we'll put a button here. Text button. Cool. And I won't bother renaming it because I want to just do the whole passing through part, right? So what makes my clicks do things in the world, right? Let's go over to my starter player scripts, and I have this click boom loc, right? When I click on things, I have a user input service, and the user input service sends this remote event if I do a button one click or a touch on a mouse. This is going to work on a touch on the phone. This is going to work on the phone too. So when we click on this, we don't want an explosion either on the computer or on the phone. So the touch or the mouse click, we want to make sure that doesn't go through. Here's the problem that I'm running into right now. Starter player scripts, it doesn't grab the buttons very easily, but this is all UI stuff. This is all client stuff. So I'm just going to do this. Look at that. Boom. A little bit of a shortcut here. Now I can get this button no problem. So when this gets cloned, when the starter GUI gets cloned into the player GUI, that script's going to go with it, and we can get a hold of this button. And then you're thinking, what am I going to do with that button when I get a hold of it? It's going to be easy. All right. So what we can do is we'll say local button. Well, let's go button like that. Script.parent.text button. We obviously would call it something different, right? And then I'm going to have something called a button dot mouse entered event that will fire. We'll get this function. There'll be an X and a Y. We're not going to use this. This is where we entered the button. So if it's a touch, it's going to be that point. If it's a mouse, you can see that you're going to see where it entered on your button. Let's just put a print statement so we know what's happening. Entered button. And then we are going to make a Boolean value. I'm going to go back up here. Let's go ahead and say local UI detected, right? And we're going to initialize that to false, right? When I get my UI, when I go on my button, my UI detected is going to be true. And then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to copy that. I'll paste that. I'm going to do one for leaving, mouse leave. And we'll say button, entered button. We're going to say leave button. And this is going to be false. Now, when I go to do my user input service for my button stuff, I'm going to make sure that there's a target and not UI detected. Boom, I'm done. Right. I'm going to show you how to do it on another component too. We'll just spruce this up a little bit so I could finish my click boom thing for my top 10 scores. Right. Look at that. I'm clicking. Click, click, click. See, it's working. That's pretty cool. Let's put a frame here. Let's use this button to pop up a frame like our scores are going to come up, right? So I'll go over here, and then I'm not going to name anything. I'm going to make it simple and fast. So I'll say frame. Right, and this is going to be my scores frame. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm going to leave it just like that. Where's the center? Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. All right. So on my text button, we'll do a local script. And then I shouldn't even bother naming this. Open. Call it open. Make that a little bigger. I will say local button script dot parent. I didn't even need to do that because I could do button activated, connect, function. Let's get our frame. Local frame equals script dot parent. We got to go up one more level. Parent, that's the screen GUI. Now we'll go down to our frame, right? That's what we want to open and close. And maybe we'll start out with this being invisible. All right, so then whatever we click a button, we're going to say frame.visible equals not frame.visible. That's going to make it open and close. All right, so let's go back in here. Now we're still going to get that boom thing, right? We haven't done any modifications on that, but our button is going. However, boom, boom, we got to do something about this, right? We don't want this UI element to show any explosions too. So I'm going to go to click boom. And we don't have the frame variable. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go local frame script dot parent. I only have to go up one level here. We don't want that. We want frame. Cool. I'll just go ahead and copy this stuff. We could group this stuff better, make it a little more organized, but this is going to work and it's going to be easy, right? So frame button entered. Frame button leave. Let's get rid of those print statements. We don't need those. Boom. We know it's going to work. We saw it work on the button. Cool beans. Bring that open. Oh, look at that. It's working. Close. Boom. Cool. So even if it's invisible, it's not going to show that entering and leaving. But if it's visible there, you get the idea. Anyway, that's pretty important. I looked around for it on the internet. There was very few things about that. And if you're doing like building stuff and everything, you're going to want to know how to stop your mouse click from going through your UI element and into the world. All right, I will see you in the next video. Good luck with that one.